Hi, it's Ramsey Dewey, and welcome to another edition of Q&A with the Coach. Today, our question comes from our friend Ghostwriter2224, because apparently there are at least 2,223 other ghostwriters out there on YouTube. Popular name. Anyway, our friend Ghostwriter is 15 years old. He cross-trains in a bunch of martial arts at an MMA gym, boxing, wrestling, combat submission wrestling, and jiu-jitsu, all that good stuff. But he's asking me, how long is an appropriate time to wait until you spar? If you've been training for a meaningful amount of time, and you have never sparred in any way, shape, or form, and you haven't been taught to spar safely, there's a problem there. You haven't been taught how to fight. Especially in the context of jiu-jitsu and submission wrestling and actual wrestling. You should be doing some form of live drilling or live sparring every time you train. Grappling especially. Grappling, you can spar or roll or whatever you want to call it close to 100% with very little risk of injury. As far as striking goes, generally when people hear spar in the context of striking, what they think is a fight. A fight dialed down a notch, maybe, but a fight nonetheless. There are 3 levels of sparring: no contact, light contact, and full contact. And you might say, hey Ramsey, well, what if I just want to spar at 20% or 50% or 80%? That's garbage, and here's why. Because everybody has a radically different idea and interpretation of what those percentages mean. So if you have a 265-pound heavyweight, all muscle super athlete, his 10% is going to feel like 1,000% compared to a skinny little wimp. So do not trust percentages. No contact, light contact, full contact. I teach my students and my athletes to spar on day 1. And that shocks a lot of people. They're like, what? But they don't know anything yet. They'll die if they don't have, mastery over every single little thing. Untrue. Absolutely false. Teach people how to spar in those 3 levels. First, no contact. Why? To give them some context. Get them familiar. Get them comfortable trying on those techniques without any risk of hurting each other. Now, we're not going to stay in the no contact phase very long, but once in a while it's good to revisit that. Then we get up to the light contact or the touch sparring phase. There was an old Korean Taekwondo master. I don't remember his name, but he had this axiom which was, when you spar with control, touch the clothes but not the skin, touch the skin but not the muscle or the bone. And if you have that level of control, then you are absolutely ready to spar. Now, my friend Ghostwriter is 15 years old. And when you are 15 years old, your brain is still developing. Your brain still develops till your mid-20s. So you need to be very, very careful about the prospect of taking hits to the head. You don't want that. Anything that will damage your brain, you don't want that. So you should be doing light contact sparring, touch sparring, no contact sparring. And you should be doing it often. And the reason why I promote doing light contact sparring so much is because you can do it often. Do you know why grapplers can achieve a high level of grappling compared to their striking counterparts? in the same time frame, and you might be thinking, well, that wasn't my experience. Grappling is really hard. How long does it take to master boxing? To get to the point where you can outbox people who actually know how to fight? Takes a while. Takes a good long while. You gotta scrap a lot, man, to get to that stage. You gotta do a lot of training. And along the way to that pursuit of greatness in boxing, you're going to take a lot of lumps. You're going to take a lot of hits. You're going to get some brain damage. It is not an easy path. Grappling, yeah, there are injuries. It's not comfortable. You're going to get squished a lot. But you can do jiu-jitsu close to 100% every single day without risk of serious injuries. Wrestling, same thing. You can wrestle live, full out, almost every day, as long as you use a few basic safety precautions. And when you can do it live every single day, what happens? We get better. So much better. Oh. If you can log 100 hours of live sparring, live rolling, live drilling against a real live human who is fighting back, at some degree, no contact, light contact, and once in a while, full contact. Man, that is game-changing. The difference between 0 hours or a couple of minutes of experience versus 100 hours, oh man. When you reach that point, you're going to seem like a Jedi master compared to the average person. Now, a lot of gyms will try to protect their newer students as much as possible by putting sparring up on a pedestal like it's this thing that you must achieve black belt mastery level before you can do. But here's the thing. If you do not engage in sparring on any of those levels, especially not the first two, you will never achieve black belt mastery level in anything. So here is my cry to coaches out there, martial arts instructors. Teach your students how to spar safely, how to spar responsibly. Teach them how to do it early. Teach them how to do it often. And if you don't know how to do that in a way that is constructive and safe and that will spare your students brain damage, go back to school on coaching and teaching. Thanks for watching. Now get out there and train.